Okay, let's just get started. You can lie down on your back. So just give you a moment to lie down. This is going to be a pretty gentle practice. It's the end of the week. It's Friday. It's been a bit of a wild week with the election and all the changes. And then we've also got this kind of looming, I'm not sure if you're in Saskatchewan right now, if you're watching from somewhere else, but there's kind of like this looming snowstorm. So we're in this funny space right now of, it's Friday and there's it's been a week and there's stuff ahead. And so, stress is here. And so this next, we'll try and practice maybe for about 45 minutes. It's just really about coming into your body, coming into your breath, and just taking some time for yourself, taking some time to kind of let go of the week and set some intentions for moving forward. We'll practice very gently and just enjoy this time. So just as you arrive on your back, if it's comfortable, you can definitely close your eyes. And just start by taking a nice deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale, release it out through your mouth. And then you can take another nice deep breath in through your nose. Welcome if you're just joining us. We're just lying down on our back. And just taking some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're taking some time to relax, some time to release the week, and just invite in some intentionality into our weekend. So maybe an intention to rest, an intention to connect with our bodies and our breath a little bit more. Maybe an intention for how we want to feel. Good. So one more deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale through your mouth. Good. So just settle in here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Robin. I am the Sexual Health Outreach Coordinator for the Students' Union. I am also a yoga instructor. I've been teaching in and around Regina for 10 plus years. And I also do embodiment and sexuality coaching. And so stress is something that I encounter a lot. It's one of the main reasons why we don't connect or why we lose our desire for sex. It's a big contributor to burnout, exhaustion. It can cause us to have illness, anxiety. And so having a strategy, having a plan to manage our stress is important. And yoga is one way that we can do that. And really the most powerful part of our yoga practice isn't so much the moving as it is the breathing. So we're just going to take a moment here as you lie on your back and just notice how your body is feeling. And just scan through your body, notice any sensations that you feel. Notice maybe where your body feels tight or maybe where you feel open and there's some vibrancy or softness. And then also notice how you're feeling. So how do you feel emotionally? And welcome if you're just joining us, you can lie down on your back. We're just doing a little check-in. So checking in with your body, checking in with your breath. So notice how you feel emotionally. So what are you bringing onto the mat with you? Are you bringing stress with you? Are you bringing a challenging week? And then notice how you feel energetically. Do you have a lot of energy? Do you feel low on energy? So all of this is just to notice your baseline, where you're starting today. And the next thing you want to do is decide where you want to go. So how do you want to feel when you finish your practice today? So just take a moment to decide what that might look like. Do you want to feel calm, relaxed? Do you want to feel energized? And just set an intention. Decide that this practice is an opportunity for you to invite that state of being. Invite feeling the way you would like to feel. And then start to notice your breath. And maybe start to take deeper, more full breaths. So as you inhale, you might notice that your belly expands. And as you exhale, you might notice that your belly softens. So feeling that expansion, feeling that softening. And then you can bend your knees if they aren't already. Bring your feet onto the ground. And then walk your feet out wide toward the edges of your mat. And then drop your knees over toward the left. You can keep your feet where they are. So you'll move more to the outside and the inside edge of your foot as you drop your knees over. And then you can bring your knees up to center and then let them drop over to the other side. So let your breath guide you now. So as you inhale, bring your knees up to center. Start the exhalation and then let your knees drop over to the other side. So following your breath, inhaling your knees up to the center. And then as you exhale, your knees will fall over toward the right. So keep going at your own pace. And let the breath lead the way. So instead of thinking about the movement and thinking about, okay, I've got to do this movement, that movement, this movement, think about the breath. Allow the movement to follow your breathing. And you might notice that your moving slows down a lot, especially if you're taking really deep breaths. Good. One more. Dropping your knees over. And then the next time that your knees come up to center, you can keep them there. And then from here, bring your right knee in toward your chest. You can interlace your hands around your right shin. Just draw your knee in nice and close. And as you pull your knee in toward your chest, take some nice deep breaths into your belly. Good, and then take your hands and interlace them behind the back of your right leg, and you'll slowly begin to straighten your leg. So you might get your leg all the way straight. It might not go all the way straight because your hamstring is tight, and you start to feel that sensation of stretch in the back of your leg. So just go to where it feels comfortable to go, and then you'll start to pull against your leg with your hands, and you'll push against your hands with your leg, and you'll squeeze your thigh just a little bit more. Just get stronger in your thigh. And then notice here, have you forgotten about your breath? Taking some nice deep breaths here. Good, and then crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. You can stay here depending on how that feels in your hips, or you might find that it feels good to bring your legs closer toward your body. Here you might interlace your hands behind the back of your left leg, or you might hold on to your foot and your knee to draw your legs in toward your chest. We'll take some nice deep breaths here. Good, let's unwind the right leg now. Bring your foot down onto the floor. Draw your left knee in toward your chest. And take some nice deep breaths here. Good, then interlace your hands behind the back of your left leg. Again, straighten your leg as much as you're able to. And then you can pull against your leg with your hands, push against your hands with your leg. Ground through your tailbone. Become aware of your breathing, maybe taking some deeper breaths here. So as you practice, there may be a temptation to be narrating or observing and being in the practice through the experience of your mind. And that's natural. Your brain is going to, especially if you've never practiced with me before, so you don't know how I teach and all of those things. But this is actually an invitation now to engage with your body. So notice what you feel in your body. Notice the sensations. Notice where you feel the stretch. Notice where it feels good. You can cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Draw your legs in toward your chest. Here you'll feel maybe some stretch in your hip. And you'll just notice where you're feeling sensation. There's not a right or a wrong sensation. You want to stay away from pain, extreme discomfort. A little bit of discomfort that feels like stretching is okay. And just engaging with the posture through your breath, taking deeper breaths. How does it feel to take deeper breaths? Good. Unwind your leg, both knees in toward your chest. I'm going to give you two options. You can either roll over onto your side to come up to sitting, or if you want, just rock yourself up to sitting. Give yourself a little bit more energy. So come to sit. nice and tall, cross-legged. And if cross legs don't work inside your body, you can absolutely just have the soles of your feet together, take your feet away from your body, whatever works for you. Bring your hands onto your lap, relax through your shoulders. If it's comfortable to close your eyes, you can close your eyes or take a downward gaze. And bring some awareness to your breath. Again, taking some deep breaths. So when you inhale, can you feel an expansion in your belly? So maybe if you relaxed your belly as you inhale, you would feel that expansion a little more easily. Good, let's reach arms up, interlace your fingers, and then flip your palms. Press your hands up toward the sky. Squeeze around your elbows, relax through your shoulders, ground down through your sitting bones, taking some nice deep breaths here. Good, you can lean over toward the right. Good, up through center, lean over toward the left. And then up to center, taking your right fingertips behind you. Your left hand can come onto your left thigh, twist toward the right. And then come back to center, twist toward the left. And then come back to center. Let's come on to our hands and knees now. So as you arrive here on your hands and knees, you want to have your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Now, if you find this is hard on your wrists, you can absolutely take your hands just a little bit further forward. That would decrease the intensity on your wrists. You spread your fingers apart from one another. And let's move into some cat-cow. So as you inhale, drop to your belly, lift up through your tailbone. You can draw your chest forward and then lift your chin, look up. And then as you exhale, move in the opposite direction. So drop your tailbone, pull in through your belly, round your spine, allow your neck to soften. And here you can take your gaze down to between your knees. Let's move back and forth between these two postures. You're going to do the same thing that we did earlier, where you let the breath lead the way. So as you initiate the breath, the movement will follow. So inhaling, lifting your tailbone, dropping through your belly, looking up, exhaling, dropping your tailbone, rounding your spine, softening your neck and looking down. Keep going. Move at your own pace. Again, just engaging with the sensation you feel. Couple more cycles of breath here. Again, and then after your next exhalation, when you inhale, come into a neutral spine. Your shoulders over top of your hands. You can tuck your toes under here. And then straighten your legs. And then push into your hands. And as you push into your hands, at the same time, you'll start to let your hips lift up toward the sky. So eventually, as you do this, your head is going to come into the space between your arms. You can relax the back of your neck. You can stay right up on your tiptoes if you want. Lift your hips up even higher. And then bend your right knee, drop your left heel toward the ground. And then bend your left knee, drop your right heel toward the ground. And you can just let your heels continue to paddle down toward the ground one at a time. So notice here, as things have maybe gotten a little more challenging, a little more physical for you, have you lost that connection with your breath? And just reestablish that connection with your breathing. Nice deep breath. Good. Let's lift both heels. Lift your hips up nice and high. Maybe drop both heels down toward the ground. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Good. Let's walk the feet a little bit wider toward the edges of your mat, and then start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Let your knees soften. Let your belly come down to your thighs. Relax through the back of your neck, and then just straighten one leg, bend the other, and then shift in the other direction. Just straightening one leg at a time. Good. Bend both knees. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, push both feet into the floor. Slowly roll yourself all the way up to stand. So take a moment as you come to stand just to connect your feet into the ground, strengthen up through your legs, and then you can step your feet closer together. Find your breath here. And then inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky. Exhale, bring your hands back down to beside your body. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands back down. So again, letting the breath lead the way. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, bringing your hands down. We'll add on inhale, reach up. And this time as you exhale, soften your knees, hinge forward at your hips, fold in. Bring your belly toward your thighs. Relax the back of your neck. Inhale here, bring your hands onto your shins, lengthen your spine long. So you want to flatten out your back. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down toward the ground and you'll walk your hands forward. So coming into a plank, top half of a push-up. You can set your knees down if you'd like, or if you want, you can stay in a hands and toes plank. Look forward, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bend your elbows, let them brush the sides of your body, coming down onto your belly, point your toes back. Inhale, lift your chest up, and then exhale, send your hips back toward your heels, your belly toward your thighs, and your forehead comes down to the earth, coming into a child's pose. Take a nice deep breath in here, and then exhale through your mouth. Let it out. Inhale, bring yourself up onto all fours, and then tuck your toes under. I'm going to straighten your legs again. Push into your hands, lift your hips up and back, coming into your downward facing dog shape again. Hips lift up nice and high. Let's walk the feet forward this time, nice and slow, bringing your feet up to the top of your mat, in between your hands. When you get there, lengthen your spine, take a deep breath in. And then soften, let your belly come down to your thighs. Relax through the back of your neck. Press your feet into the ground. Inhale. Come all the way up to standing, reaching up high, palms together. And then exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. And then bring your hands to beside your body. So if you're not at the top of your mat, you can walk up to the top of your mat, feet just slightly apart, nice and strong through your legs. Let's take a few breaths here. So start just noticing, how is your body feeling? How are you feeling? Let's inhale, sweep your arms up toward the sky. As you exhale, again, hinge forward at the hips, fold in. Inhale in, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine long, hands on your shins. As you exhale, bend your knees and step back with your left foot. So you want to step back as far as you can and drop your knee down onto the ground. Point your toe back and then really, really slow climb up into a low lunge. So as you arrive in this low lunge, you'll start to let your hips sink forward and down. So you might start to feel some intensity in the front of your left hip. So just be mindful of not moving into pain or extreme discomfort, but just feel a little bit of that stretch. Pull your belly in. Let's inhale and reach arms up alongside your ears. Take your gaze up toward the ceiling if it feels comfortable for you, really connecting to the earth through your right foot to help you stay balanced here. So notice if you're forgetting to breathe here, if you're holding your breath in any way, find that nice steady rhythm in your breath again. And then as you exhale, let's bring your hands down to the ground. I'm going to let our weight shift back now. So as you shift your weight back, you might find that the floor starts to feel really far away. So you might come on to tippy fingers. You might have a stack of books on either side if you happen to have books that you're studying close by. You can straighten that leg and point your right toes up toward the sky. So the leg might not go all the way straight. Just do what works in your body. And you might find that you have a lot of space here, in which case you might fold in. Take a few breaths here. Good. Come forward again, grounding down through your right foot, and then placing your left hand on the ground. Your right hand can come onto your right thigh. And just push into your thigh and open yourself up into a twist toward the right. Good. As you exhale, bring your hand down on the outside edge of your right foot. Tuck your left toes under and lift your knee up. So I'm going to add on here a little bit more. So get nice and strong. Here we're going to rely a little bit on strength and balance. So if you move slow, you can come up halfway and then ease your way all the way up into that high lunge. And pull your belly in, and then let's pivot the left heel down toward the ground. Just opening up and letting your hips sink straight down. And then from here, bring your arms out into a T and take your gaze out over your right fingertips. So your left foot is planted. You might have your foot parallel with the back of your mat, or your toes might angle in slightly. And then your right in your right leg, your knee is aiming out over your toes. So you'll probably feel some stretch here. If you find that the knee wants to angle in, just angle your toes in slightly too. Couple of deep breaths here, and let's add some movement. So as you inhale, straighten your right leg, bring your hands together at your heart. And then as you exhale, bend your knee, sink down and reach your arms out. Let's come up again, inhale. And down, exhale. And then one more time, inhale. And then exhale. Good, let's take right forearm onto your thigh. Left arm will reach up alongside your ear. You can take your gaze into your left armpit. So you might be tempted to really lean on that leg. Could you lift off of that leg and still hold the posture? Good, now looking down at the floor, let your hands come down on either side of your right foot. Spin your left heel back. And then you'll inhale and step your left foot up to meet your right at the top of your mat. Lengthen your spine long. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, let your belly come down onto your thighs. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reaching up. Bring your palms together and exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Let's inhale again, reach up. And then exhale, fold. Inhale and lift up halfway. And as you exhale, step back with your right foot. And drop your knee down. And then climb up. So moving slowly is fine. You don't have to rush through the practice. Just stay present in your body, stay with your breath. Let your hips sink forward and down, and then reach your arms up alongside your ears. If it feels right to look up, you can. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Good, as you exhale, bring your hands down. And we'll let the weight shift back now. Left toes up toward the sky. So you might be more upright in this. You might have those books underneath your hands. Or you might fold in. Good, coming forward again. Bringing your right hand onto the ground. Your left hand on your thigh. Open up into a twist toward the left. Good, and then from here you can tuck your right toes under and lift your knee away from the ground. So as you have your knee lifted away from the ground, you can find that nice, stable, solid foundation. So ground through your feet, and then use your core and go slow. So balance might be challenged here as you bring yourself up into your high lunge. And then right away, let's pivot the right heel down toward the ground and then sinking down here. Reach your arms out into a T. You can take your gaze out over your left fingertips. So feel your feet really press into the ground. And as you press your feet into the ground, you'll notice some strength up into your inner thighs and into your pelvic floor. This is that base of support for your posture. So add some movement. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Bring your hands to your heart. Exhale, sink down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And then inhale up. And exhale down. And then let's tip over. Left forearm on your thigh. Right arm reaches up alongside your ear. Breathing deeply here. Good. Looking down at your left foot, take your hands down on either side of your left foot. Spin your right heel back, and then inhale, step your right foot up to meet your left. Lengthen your spine long. Take a deep breath in, and then fold in. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reaching up high. Palms come together. And exhale your hands to your heart. Good. We'll do some balancing before we come down onto the floor. So bringing yourself to stand, your feet just slightly apart. And you're going to first just find something to look at. So ideally not me moving on your computer screen or your phone, but find something in your room that you can look at that is not moving. And then allow your weight to shift over towards your right foot. And then you can pick your left foot up off of the ground. And just notice what happens when you suddenly go from 2 feet supporting you to 1. And your body might start to wiggle a little bit. And your foot might start to make some adjustments. And all of that is good stuff. So just know your body is doing all it can do to keep you from falling over. So you can engage your abdomen. So pull your low belly in. And then take this foot, now bend your knee, and you can place your foot in a few places. So you could have your foot on your calf, or you could have your toes on the ground. So if balance feels really challenging, just keep your toes on the ground. So your foot can come up to your calf. Or if you're a yoga pro, you could bring your foot up onto your thigh. So wherever it feels best for you, challenging. Pull your belly in. Let's bring hands together at our heart center. So when I say heart center, of course, I'm not referring to the anatomical heart. I'm referring to more what we would refer to as a spiritual heart, the center of our chest. And if you'd like, you could reach your arms up alongside your ears. And just only do that if you feel like, yeah, pretty good with the balance. So find that point of focus. Let your mind, let your attention rest on that point of focus. And don't worry so much if you come in and out of balance, that's fine. Stay with your breath. And then you can bring your hands down, you can bring your foot down. So balance is fluid, right? Sometimes balance will feel really easy in your body, and sometimes it won't. And a balancing practice is always a really great way to just get a sense of practicing balance, which is not like a continuous state. It's always in flux. You'll come in, you'll come out. You'll find that almost more like harmony rather than like perfect balance. So can you stay content within it, even though sometimes you fall out and sometimes you're perfectly balanced? Try the other foot. So let the weight shift over to your left foot. Pick your right foot up and just see what happens. So when you don't put the pressure of the posture on, how does it feel?
Can you find a sense of how your body wants to support you to be in balance, to be in harmony? And then you can place your foot, so again, calf, or you can have your toes on the ground, or you can put your foot up on your thigh. Get strong through your legs. You want to lift up out of your hips. Bring your hands together, your heart. Stay with that point of focus. Breathe deeply. So when we balance, you could pull your belly in. So keep your core engaged and let the breath happen more so in your chest. If you want, you can reach your arms up alongside your ears. Good. Let's come down. Bring your hands down. Bring your foot down. Give your legs a little shake. And then come to stand again at the top of your yoga mat. So we call this mountain pose. The feet are just slightly apart, pressing your feet into the floor, strong through your legs. So we want a neutral pelvis. So that means your tailbone's not sticking out and it's not really tucked under. You're in that in between. And you want to get a sense again of lifting up out of your waist, as though you're creating space between each of the vertebrae. As you get taller, relax through your shoulders. And let's inhale, sweep arms up. And then exhale, soften your knees and fold in. Inhale in, lift up halfway, lengthen. And as you exhale, bring your hands down onto the ground, step back into a downward facing dog. Let's lift heels here and drop knees down onto the ground. Cross your legs in behind you and then come to sit on your bum. Now as you arrive here, just take a couple moments to prepare ourselves before we rest. So you can bend your right knee and just take your right foot onto your left thigh, like so. And then we'll just turn towards the left leg and just walk ourselves forward. So you can walk forward with your hands. Think about your heart reaching toward your toes. Your shoulders are drawing together. So you can actually pull your shoulder blades toward one another as you reach your heart toward your toes. When you can't go anymore because your hamstrings are tight, they're stretching, it feels like you've reached a max, then you can relax your shoulders a little bit, relax your neck a little bit, but still keep that intention of reaching your heart forward. Couple of breaths here. This pose is called Janu Shirshasana, which is translated as head to knee pose. So you don't actually have to put your head on your knee. Get in and then you can come up and switch sides. And here you can turn towards your right leg. And the same thing, it's thinking about your heart toward your toes. So not head towards your knee. Maybe your belly comes onto your thighs. When you reach that max where you feel that stretch down the back of your leg and it feels like an adequate amount of stretch, again, we're not going for pain or extreme discomfort, just sensation. Just noticing that our body is communicating. It's all the conversation with our body. In every moment, you can relax your shoulders, relax the back of your neck. Let's take a couple of breaths here. So when you breathe, can you feel your belly expand? Can we drop the breath down deep into the lungs? Good, bring yourself up. Let's come down onto our backs now. So as you arrive here on your back, bring your knees in toward your chest, and you can take your knees in circles. So take them in one direction, and then the other. Good. Just drawing your knees in toward your body. Bring your arms out into a T or maybe cactus arms, whatever feels better for you. And then let both knees drop over toward the left. So as you do this, if you do this and it feels awful in every way, you could actually you can put your feet down on the ground first and then drop your knees over, and that would be much less intense. So decide what works for your body in this moment. Good, then bring your knees up to center and let them drop in the opposite direction toward the left. Your right shoulder will ground back. And then here again, you can continue to breathe deeply. Your body is being impacted by the twist. So breathing deeply here can actually be a really wonderful thing for your body because it's experiencing a new way of breathing, a new pathway, a new way of experiencing the breath. So more of the breath is going into the left side of your lungs here. You might feel that expansion as the right side is contracted. So bring your knees back to center again. Maybe some circles in one direction and then the other. Good, so now is a good time for relaxation, and this is probably next to the breath, one of the more important parts of our practice. So here, I want you to just feel as comfortable as possible. So you traditionally would lie on your back with your legs straight and your hands beside your body and your palms turned up toward the sky and your eyes closed. So if that feels great, then do that. If it doesn't feel quite right, you might bend your knees and bring your feet onto the ground. Walk your feet wide and then bring your knees in toward one another. That way they're resting, so you're not doing a lot of work holding your knees up. That's an option. You might feel better with your hands on your belly. You might also feel more comfortable lying on your side in more of like a fetal position. And that might feel like the most comfortable position for you. So I want you to just find a position that feels right for your body. And as you arrive there, take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And exhale out through your mouth. And we'll just take a few moments here to relax. So when I say relax, my suggestion is to just let go of all of the doing, and we become very habitual in our doing. So maybe think about how you're carrying expectations. So they might be your own expectations, it might be others' expectations of you, how you're carrying that around with you and holding the weight of all of those expectations. And so this is an opportunity for you to actually just take that weight off for a moment. Because right here, right now, you don't need to have any of those expectations. And the same goes for responsibilities, your to-do list, maybe the worries the kind of repetitive thoughts that you've been carrying around with you. What if you just took a moment and shed all those layers and
Just allow yourself this opportunity to be as free as you can from those things. And then notice the feeling of the ground underneath you, and instead of holding yourself up on the ground. So we're always kind of doing something to hold ourselves up because gravity is kind of always pulling on us, right? And we're holding ourselves up. But right now you don't have to do that. You can actually surrender fully to the pull of gravity. So like everything held securely onto the earth, and you don't have to do anything. So notice where you're holding, where you're working, where you're creating effort in your body and your mind. Just let gravity take hold. So think about all of your internal organs. So we kind of impede with stress the natural functioning of our body because we go into these stress cycles. And our body functions differently in stress cycles, and we don't have these tools to complete them. We don't take time to use the tools that we have to complete them. And so now you can actually just let your body rest and drop into the parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest mode instead of the fight or flight mode. And just let your organs soften. They don't have to be on high alert here. You're safe. And then your bone structure can be held. By the ground underneath you. Your muscles don't have to do any work. They can just soften and be held to. And your skin, just let it soften. Your whole body relaxes. Bring awareness to your face. Where are you holding on to the expression on your face that feels like you? Let that soften. Unclench your jaw. Relax around your eyes. And for these next few moments, just give yourself this gift of rest. Deep, conscious rest. So what I mean by conscious is that you can just watch it. You don't have to engage with it. You don't have to have an opinion about it. Just notice what it's like to relax. And you can take some deep breaths here. So if you feel like you just need to hang out here a little while longer and rest, you're more than welcome to stay here for as long as you want. If you're ready to move on with the remainder of your day, you can begin to stretch your body. You can bend your knees and bring your feet onto the ground if they're not already there. Roll over onto your side if you're not already there. You can just give yourself a moment. Here's always a great opportunity to feel into the space of gratitude. So what do you feel grateful for? And just notice when you think of that thing, how it makes you feel inside your body, how that changes the energy of of how you're feeling, and just let yourself be in that space for a moment. And then you can slowly push yourself up to sitting. And just find yourself in a nice tall seat. With your eyes closed or with a downward gaze. And just giving yourself a moment. Come back to that intention that you set at the beginning of your practice today. Do you feel like you have reached some aspect of that? Do you feel like you're on your way? Do you feel closer to it? And intentions aren't just for yoga, right? So you wanted to feel this way for a reason. So maybe now is the time to set the intention to continue to feel this way as much as possible when you leave your practice, when you roll up your mat, when you continue on with the remainder of your day. So stress, one of the things that I've learned about stress is that we don't necessarily get to eliminate the stressors. So a lot of the stressors that we're managing right now, we can't change. And so what we have to do, instead of managing the stressors or eliminating the stress, we actually have to manage our stress. We have to deal with the way that we feel by completing the stress cycles, by allowing ourselves to move through the feelings that we have, whether that's anxiety or fear or sadness or grief, and just walk through those emotions and let ourselves, as best as we can, feel them, or ask for support with a therapist or a counselor, or even with My Wellness, to get support to walk through those emotions, and then have strategies. So we can do things like exercising, or even like spending 10 minutes on a Zoom call laughing and enjoying time and feeling safe in community, or deep breathing like we do in our yoga practice, can all go a long way to help us to manage our stress in really effective ways. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and have an amazing rest of your day and on into whatever is next for you. Thank you.